Fake news! Yeah, you're breaking the law! You're breaking God's law! Read your oath! You swore an oath to God, not to RTE! You're breaking your oath!
And this building belongs to us!
Yeah! You're breaking your oath here today, Garda! You're breaking your oath!
Watch how quickly she does it. You know, you with that. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't slip. As someone said, you can't get the result you want by using the same tactics. No, you can't use the same tactics. But it makes people go, oh, hang on, do that. Even before that.
What's going on, eh?
That was interesting there yesterday.
A few people pass here all the time, isn't there, in the cars? Then?
Oh yeah, say every 6 or 8 cars are getting speed. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
I think the last straw for a lot of people as well is the kids.
They're waking too many people up. Yes, and there's a cabal in the scum place up in the Dal. The cabal in the swamp don't like us waking people up. They don't like it at all. So what I need to do is ask us all to get everybody in your areas and wake them up, because we are running out of time. In the beginning of the lockdown, we went after our elderly. We went after the elderly. And myself and Gemma O'Doherty were the only 2 people out there, with another few people in the background. Another few people in the background. That were at the nursing homes. And if we hadn't have... Yeah, can we please run the side up to the front here? We need everybody up the front if this can come up here. Because we've only the small speaker, the car that was coming up with the big speaker couldn't get up. If we could get you all up to the front here. Thanks a million, everyone. I think we're going to have to get someone to go back for the other speaker. Can you all hear me on this one? Yeah, because the car that had a speaker in town is after being stopped, the big loudspeakers. Can we all get you from the side to come up to the front here? Because we don't like anyone being behind their backs here. I've just been told if I turn up here today, I'm going to be shot. So, if you want to see the email, I can show you. I've been warned off. If you turn up today, they've warned me what's going to happen. Can we get you all to come up to the front here if we can? From behind the stairs, please. Can we just get you all to come up to the front? Thanks a million. From the side, just all come up. That's why we're standing on the stairs. They want to shoot me, they'll have to do it from the front of my face. So, can we give a big round of applause, please, for Gemma and John? I told you, John Walters is going to address us.
Run, Senator John.
Thank you, John. John Richard. She's in behind there. Like I said just today, there's not going to be mad, long speeches. We can't do it on our own. You see them on our own, what they did yesterday to Gemma O'Doherty. Dragged her around that bridge like a rag doll. He almost put her over the bridge and had a knife on his possession. That was not a policeman, that was a thug in a fluorescent jacket. Shame on him! 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 Joseph!
Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them!
Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them! So people, before that passes over to John Walters, I'd like to ask every single one of you, if you can, please, in your areas, get out, wake people up before it's too late, because we are running out of time.
And it starts with not wearing any masks.
Exactly. Exactly. It starts with not wearing a muzzle. Muzzles on your face are for wild animals, not for human beings. I am exempt.
Yay!
Why am I exempt? Why am I exempt? Because I'm not a wild animal. So I'm now going to ask you people, before I hand you over to him, please do everything 24 hours a day before they bring in this next unjustice lockdown, because they are doing their best to do another lockdown, and I beg every one of you, do not comply.
Hey!
I'm now going to pass you over. I'm now going to pass you over, because I said there's not going to be any long speeches here today. I'm now going to pass you over to John Walters. A big hand please for John Walters.
Thank you. Thank you, Dee. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Yesterday evening, when I went to Bray Garda Station to pick up Gemma from after her ordeal, I was in the main hall of the Garda Station, and I noticed that there were two documents in frames on the wall, and one of them was the Garda framework document, which outlines the values of An Garda Síochána, which are all about care and for the community and love and kindness and all of this sort of stuff. And the other was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, either side of a door, and both had been adorned with a dog-eared COVID poster, so that you could read neither document. And that about says it all. COVID, the word COVID, the very idea of COVID has been used to wipe out the rights and freedoms of the Irish people in a way that they appear to be unable to question, because it is for their own good, for the sake of their health, to stop them dying, to keep them healthy, to keep them safe. And it seems that in the interest of keeping the Irish people safe, it is okay to brutalise them in the way that Jim O'Doherty was brutalised yesterday by a man who shouldn't any longer be a Garda Síochána, because he doesn't wear his number anyway. He refuses to wear his number on his lapel. But his name will go down in infamy. Sergeant Waldron, remember that name. He is the face. He is the... He is the face of the thuggery that has descended upon the world in the guise of healthcare under COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you a fairy story. And this is kind of an appropriate place to tell you a fairy story, but I won't say why. This is, once upon a time, there was a truth factory that lay on the outskirts of a great city. And in that factory, the truth was created and dispersed to the population, to the people. It was sent out on a beautiful mask, like an Irish Eiffel Tower, out to the people. And when I was a young journalist in Dublin, for many years I came to this truth factory, not to become famous, not to have arguments with other so-called famous people, but in order to create discussions that the people might hear them and be informed and allowed to think about the shape of their society. But something has happened to the truth factory. What happened was that the truth ceased to be profitable in terms of the business model that was being operated by the owners, the controllers of the truth factory. So that one day they realizes that not only were they not making any profits anymore from the truth, but they were experiencing deficits. This year, 30 million euros it is projected, the truth factory in front of us, the former truth factory, it was going to lose. Now, at some point in the not too distant past, there was a meeting somewhere inside in that building in which this problem was discussed, and it was decided for certain that they needed to change the nature of their product because the truth was no longer profitable, and they decided on a course of action that they had a new customer, which was not the Irish people seeking truth. It was the government of Ireland seeking to peddle its lies. And so, my friends, very sadly, the truth factory became a lie factory. It became an industrial producer of lies, which turned on the Irish people and sought to terrorize them. For the last 6 months, this institution here and the people who work in it, and they're all to blame because nobody has spoken out. It's all very well saying they're innocent people who are just doing their jobs, but unless they stand up and say, "Not me," then they are equally to blame. And nobody in this institution has stood up to say what we are telling you is lies. Even last week, one of their number was caught among the 81 luminaries of Clifton with his trousers down, so to speak. The trousers of his hazmat suit, I mean, of course. And when he was asked to explain himself, he did not say what was in his heart, which is very simple. The reason I was there, the reason I played golf, the reason I ate my dinner, the reason I had fun with all those guys that I was with, was that I was not afraid, because there was nothing to fear, because I knew there was nothing to fear, because I knew that we had been telling lies for the previous 5 months. And this is my opportunity to say now, please, to the Irish people, forgive me. I needed to pay my bills. I regret it. But instead he grovelled. He beat his breast. He confessed about the terrible crime he had committed in Clifton of eating a dinner which cost even more than €9. And so,
Sheep, 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 sheep.
and you know what happened in the end? Was he forgiven? No. Was he given a pat on the back and said, thank you for your frankness, thank you for your witness? No, no, no. What happened to this individual was the same thing that happened at the end of all the show trials in the Soviet Union. When the person who was required to confess his sins was dragged before the public, and he beat his breast and he confessed his sins, and he paid tribute to the integrity and truthfulness of the party. And then he was hanged. And this is what happened, I'm sorry to say, to our friend. He too was hanged, although, like the hazmat suit, it is a metaphorical hanging. His name is Sean O'Rourke. And his wife worked for the former Minister for Justice, Mr. Charlie Flanagan, who was appallingly attacked at the Playing Championship last year by a far-right man who I see before me. There he is! The Minister for Justice was asked a hard question, which he had never before experienced in his life, in public life in Ireland, because his wife's husband worked in RTÉ. That's how it works, my friends. That's how it works. In all these little involuted connections, we are all on the same side. We are all together in this, as they say. Together for yes, together for no, together for maybe, together for whatever. They are always together. But we are together too. And we are together for the truth now. And we come here to these gates today, although we are prohibited from entering. We come here as owners of this property. We come here to call to order the custodians of this property, this former Truth Factory, which was once graced by great broadcasters. Great broadcasters, people like Kevin O'Kelly, Donald Dooling, lots and lots of people who gave great joy to the Irish people, but also gave the truth. Kevin O'Kelly went to jail for the truth 50 years ago. Like Jim O'Doherty yesterday, he was locked up for the truth. But he got back and he continued to work in RTÉ because at that time it was a truth factory. Whereas now, today, people like Jim O'Doherty and myself are not allowed to cross the threshold. But we do not come here beseeching admittance. We come here to call this organisation to order. There is an article in the bowels of the RTÉ website today. It went up yesterday. And this article, which you cannot find without knowing a certain word or certain acronym, it cannot be found, but it is there. And this is the way they do it. They say, they hide it away, they hide the truth away, and they say, but there it was there all the time. This is an article by George Lee, for it was he. And this article explains that the CSO figures released during the week reveal that the death toll from COVID has now decreased to something like 850 people, from 1,773 which RTE, in every other article, which you can find very easily on its website, continues to tell us is the number. And which the gov.ie website continues to tell us is the number. And which the HSE.ie website tells us is the number. But the real number is something like 850, and it is falling fast, so you better get in there and read that article while there is still any number in it, because I promise you, give it 6 months and that number will be zero, because that is the actual number of people who have died from COVID-19. It is a lie. It is a lie that has destroyed the lives of millions of people all over the world and in Ireland. Not alone the livelihoods of people, but the very sanity of people. Good, decent people trusting this organisation because once it housed great broadcasters who could be trusted, believed what they were being told, and hid away terrified in their homes, afraid to go out even into the garden for fear an aerosol might blow over and strike them dead. Because Fergal Bowers told them that was what was going to happen. It is an absolute crime, my friends. It is the crime of the century. We need to get cut to the chase here and stop the equivocation and the arguing about little bits and pieces on the fringes of this. This is the greatest lie that has ever been told in our country. And we do not know for certain. And that lie is being enforced by the kind of thuggery we saw yesterday down the In11, where people are terrorised, are beaten, they are abused, they have their property taken, they are treated like criminals, because they insist on telling the truth about the lie. I have often noticed, when I read articles about this from this building, about meetings they have in RTE, never about the role of RTE in Ireland, never about how well RTE is doing its job, never about how it might better serve the Irish people, always about the conditions and the wages of the people who work in this institution. And we know all about the people, we read it regularly, the numbers, the bingo numbers that are paid to people of no talent and less character, who sit in these desks. They are apparent successors of the once great broadcasters who inhabited these buildings, but nothing like them. Their talent is for something entirely different. Their talent is for obedience to their masters. That is why they are paid these huge sums of money. It is not because of their charisma, it is not because of their wish, it is not because of their personalities, it is because they have showed the regime that they can be relied upon to tell the correct lies. The Director General of this institution, God help us, D. Forbes, has said in the recent past that the licence fee needs to be doubled. Why? Why? Just in case, she said, because if it is not, then RTE will cease to be relevant to the Irish people. No, my friends, I do apologise for implying previously that everybody in RTE lacks wit or a sense of humour. Clearly, the Director General has a very good sense of humour indeed, because RTE has not represented the Irish people for well over 20 years in any meaningful sense. It has attacked the Irish people, their values, their traditions, their language, their music. It has attacked it in every way. It has undermined the very fabric of our connection with our own country on a daily basis. It has abused us. It has called far-right people who actually say the Irish people have preeminence in their own country. Well, who has, if not the Irish? But I wouldn't be surprised to hear such things coming out of an organisation which appointed an Englishman who made his name as a journalist, so-called in America, as the head of news and current affairs. This man, at a previous protest outside this gate, came to the protesters, who were fewer in number than today, and said to them, "Have you people nothing better to do than standing around here protesting about things?" And then he kind of thought about it and says, "Well, I suppose, you know, you have the right to do it, even if you're a bunch of idiots." This is the head of news and current affairs, whom D4s would tell us is relevant to the Irish people. And we need him. John Williams is his name. And you can't find out how much he earns. I know that D4s earns 250,000 plus 63,000 pension contributions and 25,000 per annum for her car. But I assume that John Williams, because his is not being published, even though he's of a lower rank, he's actually paid more than she is. That's my supposition. And that's all taxpayers' money. It's your money. It's your money. It's our money. We pay them to insult us. We pay them to lie to us. We pay them to abuse us. Just as we pay these guards to beat us up from time to time.
No more!
No more!
No more! No more! No more!
So I finish. 32 years ago, my friends, when RTÉ was still a respectable broadcaster, I appeared on the Late Late Show as a very young man. I was only 2. And I made a speech on the soapbox that night about why Ireland should repudiate its national debt. Seems like only yesterday. Seems like tomorrow week, actually. And I finished my speech with a line from a movie called Network, in which the great Peter Finch played a broadcaster who was calling his colleagues, calling the people to action against the state of things. And I'll finish with the same words today, my friends. Do you remember that scene when Peter Finch opened the window of his street and started shouting this to the street? And everybody came to their windows and they shouted. And he said, "We're mad as hell! And we're not going to take it anymore!
Yeah!
We're mad as hell! And we're not going to take it anymore! We're mad as hell! And we're not going to take it anymore! We're mad as hell!
We're not going to take it anymore!
We're mad as hell! And we're going to know it today! And we're going to let them know it today!
If you're not angry, there's something wrong with you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah!
I pray that we all live to see the day that John Waters leads our country. While we talk here today, thank you all, first of all, for all of your support. It's been a horrific 24 hours. We haven't really slept at all in light of what happened yesterday, but I want you to know, those of you who don't yet know, that on the streets of Berlin and London and other European capitals today, they have come out in their hundreds of thousands to stand up. And we now are home away from home, the United States, where so many of our diaspora are fighting for the truth now. People who are forced out of this country because it could not give them a future. They too are standing up in their millions. So we have great protection from what is happening in the UK, continental Europe and the United States, because we have placed ourselves in such a position as to be insignificant
in the eyes of the world. And I want that to change. I want our country to be seen as the great country that it is. And it will again. And there is one way and one way of ending this now. If we could end it tomorrow. All we need on this road is 50,000, 100,000, and it's over. How difficult would that be? That's all. Yesterday, I found myself in a prison cell for the first time in my life. Just 51 years ago, around this time, I was christened down in that church there. And it's a place that's very important to me because my parents were married there. I made my first Holy Communion there, my confirmation, and my father was buried from there. So Donnybrook is very close to my heart. I was educated in Donnybrook too. And every morning we pulled on our bottle green jumpers, and the crest on our jumpers was Veritas. Veritas. And my father used to say to me when I was very small, Veritas truth, Veritas truth, Veritas truth. It was the slogan, the logo, the motto of the Dominican nuns who educated me, who were great, strong women, and who demanded the truth from us. And that was embedded into me from a young age, and it drove me into journalism. And for me, journalism is fundamentally about truth, telling the truth and serving the public interest and no other interests. We should be the watchdogs, not the lapdogs of government, which is what they have become. And when I was growing up, as John has said, this was a respectable institution. In fact, some of the journalists in here back in the 70s and 80s and 90s inspired me to go into journalism. And I watched them go after politicians on behalf of the Irish people until they got answers. And I said, I want to do that. But I soon discovered that in these times that's not acceptable. Journalists have to toe the line. They have to churn out state propaganda, and if they don't, as I refuse to do, they will be silenced. The state, as you all know, has been trying to silence me for many years. They took my job of 20 years, the Irish Independent, because I was exposing their corruption and the murders of citizens that they had covered up. Recently I've been talking more about Veronica Guerin, in whose murder they are implicated. And increasingly I have felt their boot on my neck. And I know that that is a sign of their fear. It is a sign that they are in panic mode, because I will always point the finger at every single one of them. Not one of them stood up for Maurice McCabe when he was being called a paedophile with the assistance of this organization. Not one of them. And when I talk to them about him, they can't look me in the eye. They stayed silent. They stayed silent over the Father Niall Malloy murder, Rainead Murray, Sophie Duplantier, Mary Boyle. The list goes on. Shane O'Farrell, Shane Tilley. I could list so many citizens, whose murders have been covered up by these people. Because until they speak out, they are complicit. And I'm not only talking about murders, but the most grotesque child sexual abuse that they have covered up. And because I am one of only maybe 2 or 3 journalists saying that they are responsible for the protection of VIP paedophiles, it is easier for them to come after me. Yesterday I was physically assaulted by 3 of them. 3 monsters, 3 savages, barbarians.
Let's see what Garda Cioccolini are saying to our team. Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil put up their banners on bridges during election time, no problem. GAA, you name it. So we won't be removing these informational banners to ensure that the Irish people are told the truth. So here we are. You're streaming now to thousands. You're streaming to thousands of people here now, Garda. So this is amazing here. Thank you to the thousands of people who are watching this. We're over 2 million now. They have their face nappies on. Now we reached 2 million views the other day and 40,000 overnight. Nobody believes anymore. On what basis, Garda? Produce the law, please. No. There's certainly not. No. He's streaming.
And we've every right to put our banners up. Why do you want the banners down?
Sorry, Fine Gael put their posters up at election time. They can put the GAA. Look at this one. Complain to GSOC. Sorry, Garda. It is not. They're staying up. You'll have to produce the law. Now, great. We see this is how we waken up the sheeple. You're streaming now. What station are you from? Yeah, well, this is, you allow these, Garda. Sorry, how? Oh, well, tough. You're a public servant. You're a public servant. And we have the RTÉ one there as well.
Both sides of this breach was covered in election.
Covered.
Are they not a distraction? Are they not a distraction?
That's.
Are they not a distraction?
Yeah, go and set up a false flag while you're at it. Have somebody to crash. Sorry, no. Banners are allowed. Check the legislation. Check. Oh yeah. Come on, guys. Our country.
Just answer the question to me. Did you ask Fianna Fáil? And this is done legally.
And this is the exact same.
Article 40, Section 6. This is done legally. And they done it for the posters. When you start taking the posters down for the election.
But dangerous driving. Dangerous driving. That's what that. Dangerous driving. We're concerned. Can I talk? Do you know what we're concerned about? The destruction of our country's economy. You'll be out of jobs. You won't be getting a pension if this goes any further. Do you know how dangerous masks are? Do you know the contents of that mask? Do you know? Do you know what's in that? You're breathing formaldehyde in. This is about saving. We are here to save lives. All right. We are here. Yeah, go and set up a false flag. Set up a false flag. The Gardaí are probably now going to go and create a crash. Yeah, you see, they have no law. They're going to go and create a crash now and try and blame us. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. We're trying to save lives. Sorry, everyone, if you've had to listen to me raise my voice there, but the sight of these people, they should be out investigating crime, but they're wandering, loitering without intent even. And this is what we have to do. We do not want to spend our Friday afternoons having to do this. But if the bloody people will not waken up, they are all going to drag us down with them, and we will have nothing left. So that is why we must. It is absolutely legal to put banners on bridges. That's why they've wandered off, and they can't. You see, this is. They've had to go. They've had to go. We will stand with our banners, and they will set up a false flag. More than likely, they will set up a crash. I know that they're capable of anything, these Gardaí. They will stage a crash to get us off. Everything is staged now. Everything is staged. So all state institutions are allowed to put up their banners on bridges, and we will too. They can't bear it because we are reaching thousands of motorists here. Thousands. Nothing better to do. Nothing better to do. We'll give you an update. People, we're asking you to please get banners made and get out and advertise. Because if you don't, it's going to be too late. You have to produce the law. Produce the law. You have to produce the law. Thank you. It is. Thank you.
Where am I going? On Facebook.
Now, this lady is supporting us. She's not with us. It's not.
When I drive into Dublin, all I can see is wear a mask, protect ourselves.
These are architects of the state. They will have no pension, these Gardaí, because of what's being done to our country, but they are now trying to destroy it. You see, all the beeps we're getting. This lady here she's just crossing the bridge. She's just crossing the bridge, and she's not with us. All the beeps we're getting, because the Irish people are wakening up, and we are wakening them up. This woman was crossing the bridge, and she's telling the Gardaí that it is absolutely no problem. Thank you. And they are allowed. They're allowed at GAA. They're allowed at GAA finals. And GAA finals. Here's the big boss now. Here's the big boss. That's dangerous driving. Why don't you charge them? Charge them for dangerous driving. No, they're not. It's a straight road. They're going about 5, 10, 20, 30 kilometres. I know. Sorry, are you going? Yeah. What? Oh, no. Heather, take it. Look at this. Look at this. This is criminal damage. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing
Look
here?
at this.
Can I take one?
Yeah, just be careful it doesn't drop. Look at this. How dare you? Well, we're going to stand down. Look at this gangster.
Excuse me, there's no
a gangster. What's your number?
Anybody.
What's your number? This is criminal damage. My God. You're living in a police state. Look at this. How dare you? No way. He's going to steal them. No way. Seize them. Don't you dare take them. Don't you dare. Pather, take them. Take them. Oh, God. So they're stealing them, these gangsters. You're stealing them. We'll be following you. They can't bear.
Take that one down, Gemma. Don't let them take that one. Gemma, take this one. Take this one.
Pather, can you take these? I'm filming here as evidence. These Gardaí will go to jail. Look at this gangster.
You're stealing, actually.
This is how bad it is. No forced vaccines. Theft. Don't worry. We've hundreds more. We've hundreds more. You're a thug. An absolute thug. Stealing our banners. These Gardaí cover up paedophilia. They cover up murder. They cover up child rape. They are the scum of the earth. Look at this. We've another car full of them, don't you worry. We have another car full and we will go to another bridge. There we go. They're terrified. They are terrified. They cannot bear the truth. Shame on every one of them. Shame on everyone. You will be viral. You've only shown yourselves up. Don't worry. We've got a boot full of them and we will be on the road again. You're cowards, traitors to the Irish people. Traitors to the Irish people. Aren't you just delighted? Aren't you delighted? You won't be getting my name and address.
You won't?
No, you won't.
Demanding your name and address.
Get away from me. Don't lay a finger.
Excuse me.
Excuse
me.
I'm
demanding your name and address under the Public Order Act. Give me your name and address now.
And what was my crime? Trying to waken up our people to this scandemic. That was my crime. We have stood here so many times with better things to do, to get our banners up here, because we know many people who travel on this road and all the roads of the country every day are not aware of what is actually going on. That's why we do it. It's a form of journalism. Let's tell them the truth. This is the truth we put up here. How else can we reach them? I've been taken off YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Last night they took down my website for a while. This is our only means. We're leafleting all around the country because we care desperately about the Irish people. And we care about the future generations who are being so traumatized now. Traumatized. Last night when we were in Blackrock Garda Station making a criminal complaint about Joseph Waldron. There was a little family in there, a new baby that was born in the height of the pandemic, and both of the non-pandemic, the scandemic, both of her parents had masks on. And I could see because babies when they're very young, they learn so much from reading the lips, hearing the words, and observing the facial expressions of their parents. And I could see that this beautiful little Irish child was looking into her father's eyes, and all she could see were his eyes. And I thought the trauma that is happening to that child, to all of our children who can no longer see their parents' facial expressions. They talk to them through muffled voices. It is child abuse. This generation is being so damaged. These beautiful, innocent children are being so damaged, and we stand here today for them. We must give them the country that we deserve. A beautiful child that I met last week, about to cross the important milestone into secondary school. on Monday.
She won't be going. Why? Because her parents will not allow her to wear a mask because it's one to stand up. That's all it takes, because they will follow when they waken up, and we will waken them up. But as I say, we've stood here so many times. The Gardaí from Donnybrook come out, no problem. We have them on camera. We know it is perfectly legal to do this. So what happened yesterday was illegal, an unlawful arrest, an unlawful detention. But as I said, and assault. When I was in that cell and they would come in and then slam the door and lock it again, treating me like a common criminal, I was sitting in there and I was thinking of all of the people in our prisons. I was thinking a lot about the people whose murders I've had tried to get justice for. But I was thinking a lot about all the citizens in our prisons now who should not be there. And there are many today. When I was in that cell with nothing, none of all of my possessions had been taken. I didn't even have a watch on me. It was taken. My wedding rings, everything was taken from me. And I felt for the first time in my life incredibly helpless, because I am somebody who likes to act. And I am utterly and totally committed to this country.
Thank you, Gemma.
No use to anyone in here. I knew probably this moment was coming, but I was thinking of all the other citizens who had been in that cell, beaten up by these thugs.
Thugs! Thugs! Thugs!
These are the biggest threat to our society.
Gestapo! Gestapo!
And they must be taken down.
Gestapo!
There was one solution to yesterday, but it didn't happen, and I understand there was a timing issue. The next time any one of our citizens is arrested, be it Andy, Dolores, Niall, myself, John, or any of you, I am asking you here today to get to the place where they are being held. Because I know if hundreds of you had come to Bray station yesterday, I would have been released immediately. But instead, I was subjected to 2 to 3 hours of intense abuse, psychological abuse. And what they were trying to do was to provoke me, which they never will do. This is what they are doing to people all the time. They did it with Andy. And when we showed up in court in Castlebar for Andy, who was unlawfully arrested and detained a few weeks ago, the powers that be backed down. They backed down and they put off his case into the distance. And staying there until the person is released, then they will back down, because they will face this. I don't know yesterday, I don't know, did this guy, was he on such a power trip? I don't know. But did he know it was me, did he not? But he lost control. He was on an unbelievable power trip. I did think that when I got back there and there was nobody around, I was brought into the back, handcuffed. I'd been handcuffed for about an hour. I told them that I had a frozen shoulder and I couldn't move my arm backwards, and they persisted. This is torture.
This was an act of torture on me that was carried out. If they do this to me, can you imagine what they are doing to vulnerable citizens in very deprived communities that don't live in the leafy avenues of Dublin 4, but who live in the parts of our city and country that have been destroyed as a result of state dependency, socialism, communism, getting people into a position where they are utterly reliant on the state and they cannot make a go of things for themselves. They're the people that I am most worried about, because their children are being taken from them, as Dee knows. These single mothers are so vulnerable. TUSLA go in and take the children. They are creating generations of Irish people who will be destroyed. That's all you have to do. We are the new Citizens Army here today. GPO, we are all together united. And all we have to do now is, when they attack us again or unlawfully arrest, I'm begging you to get in your hundreds down to the place where the person is being held. And they will back.
Fake news! Fake news!
This is all it is. Tax paid for. Special security right here. And so I put you on notice. This is a civil matter. This is, we are exercising a constitutional right to equal standing.
RTÉ! 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 Fake news! 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 Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Fake news! 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 Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Pedo TV! Pedo TV!
We don't believe in lies here. We don't believe in rules. But I'd like you to attention to 1 million people. This building belongs to us, the people of Ireland. And that's for the money you have paid in. But no more TV license in this
You're supposed to serve good, not RTÉ!
The people here today are now putting each and every one of you on notice that you are interfering in a civil matter.
Yeah, you're breaking the law! You're breaking God's law! Read your oath! You swore an oath to God, not to RTÉ! You're breaking your oath!
And this building belongs to us.
You're breaking your oath here today, Garda! You're breaking your oath! You swore an oath to God, not to RTÉ! You swore an oath to God! Traitors! 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 Traitors!
No reason to arrest us, neighbour.
Who owns the airwaves? We do! Who owns the airwaves? We do! Who owns the airwaves? We own the airwaves! We own the airwaves! Who owns the airwaves? We own the airwaves! Who owns the airwaves? We own the airwaves! You swore an oath to God, not to RTÉ! You're breaking your oath standing here today! You're breaking your oath! You're breaking your oath! You're breaking your oath, Garda! You're breaking your oath! You swore out the God. You swore out the God, not the RTÉ.
Everybody listen! We know this is our building, but we are not going to give the thugs that done what they done to Gemma O'Doherty yesterday an opportunity to do it to us here today. We are not. No one left here today, people. You do not put your hand on the Garda here today. You do not. Garda out, they took that out.
To God, not the
I
RTÉ.
hereby, solemnly and sincerely declare before God that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of Garda Síochána, which fairness, integrity, regard to human rights.
Yeah, human rights, not RTÉ. Traitors, 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 traitors.
I want this Garda here today. Are you listening, people? I want this Garda here today to hear these people loud and fucking clear. I want I want you to hear me loud and clear, and I want you to hear these people loud and clear that this building and any other building that's trying to drain the crony laws down on us, we are fed up and no more.
No more! Shorshanaran! Shorshanaran! Shorshanaran!
We are right. The people now are at a breaking point, and they have had enough.
We are rising! And there's more of us than there is of you! There's more of us! How many do you have?
They have had enough of speeches. They have had enough of protests. They now are going to start taking action.
I still have that tent by the yeah. Fly the flag. For the right reasons. That's the main thing. Our reasons are different.
Yeah, all the best.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. It's all a fake, you know, it's all fake.
Could be.
Yeah. You know it. Sorry, mate.
walking back.
Yeah. Okay. I don't expect Antifa to be there, but if they are, they want to. Didn't they?
5 minutes, boom, 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 done. You're walking.